And it says we're live. Now I'm going to check YouTube, make sure we're actually live and it's not just OBS feeding us information. So I'll just check my own channel. So current events have been kind of stressing me out lately. But they have also done that before, so it's events about around the world. What's going on? So I'm drifting off here because I'm actually thinking of actually we are live. I can actually watch my own channel here. So YouTube fills us in with a random thumbnail. Audio is great, so that's awesome. Great. Okay, let's talk about stuff. Currently I'm in the hospital for mental problems because I thought some stupid thoughts, which I now think are stupid, but I don't think they're completely stupid. I just think they were misplaced in my behavior. That's how I ended up in the hospital, long story short. But now I bought myself a camera, a pretty expensive camera. I had this microphone before. So I made a little setup. I got a little light going right there. So that's actually my messy room, but the light is basically just normal fluorescent bulb, and I put some paper towels in front of it so it looks like the light diffuses and bounces off of the wall behind me and gets a nice scene going. So I thought about that before I set up this little setup thingy, which I think the lighting is okay. But the only thing I could improve is to get a dummy battery when I attach to my camera, and then I can feed AC towards that battery and then have it run without having to change batteries in between. This is useful because there's a little latch of a camera can show that on. This one, for example, very old camera, but same deal. So see the hole at the bottom? There's a hole at the bottom that you can feed a cable through. So then it just works like a normal webcam. And then the battery you end up here has a plug where you can attach it to. This runs on 3.7. But I don't know why I got all technical. Perhaps because I didn't know exactly what to talk about. And there's no one in chat yet. And I haven't built an audience yet. So maybe one of my first... there's old videos back when I was working in McDonald's. Talking about drunken stories. But I think I'm going to take a more serious approach and actually be honest with the feelings I have. And actually have that be more what my channel is surrounded. What my channel is actually about. What my channel revolves around. So there's that bit. And I've been getting into my hobbies. Doing fishing. For just using a basic rod with a floater on it. And before, I was more into predatory fishing, so like northern pike, perch, sometimes trout when I'm up in the Alps, which is fun. But I don't go to the Alps often. I think I went there once, which is it's a good time. Some pictures, some family photos from that period. Now maybe my goal is to reach something bigger, like working in the warehouse, supplying my own bills, paying for my own bills. Because I've gotten a little comfortable in the hospital. I've gotten a little laid back. Because once in a week I do the cooking, and the rest of the week people I live with, other patients, do the cooking. And I've gotten way too comfortable. My room's a mess. I stopped striving. I stopped reaching for what's out in the world. Now, given I did do a little traveling here and there sometimes, but if I compare it to before I got committed and after, it's way improved in the sense of that I don't linger around in the streets at the night anymore, just walking around, singing and talking from town to town. So I guess I'm on the road to a little better bit of. Yeah, I wonder what this life has to give, has to offer. What is there actually to achieve? So I'm still hopeful, even with everything going on. I still have faith in a lot of people, and I think things are gonna be okay. So that's a little test stream for today. I have work tomorrow, so I'm gonna hit the pillow, and yeah, I have a bunch of videos to edit. Not sure how good the content is in terms of what's actually being talked about in the videos, but I do try my best here and there. So yeah, that's it for today, I guess. And maybe I want to do a lot with artwork, because my sister gave me a little book that she wrote a little quote in. She said, "Never trade your authenticity for approval." I have it somewhere. And I'm gonna turn that into something I live by. Because actually being honest with feelings feels way more rewarding than pretending to be someone who doesn't feel things, someone who doesn't go through or live through any emotions. But I feel like society has actually favored that for some reason, in the sense that sometimes guys act tough and they do stuff, and this sort of macho behavior is favored sometimes. Which makes sense in terms of survival, because if you had a predator and it was attacking prey and the prey acted really tough, then maybe even though the prey didn't have the exact brute force to fight off an attacking predator, but it could bluff. In terms of in the ocean, if you go to the sea and look at pufferfish just puff up, and then the spikes will sort of fight off or scare off predators. That sort of mechanism is present in a lot of organisms. Like cats do puffing up. They actually have their hairs stand up and act big and stuff. But I think we carry those same traits over from when we were living in the ocean until we actually evolved to become land organisms, walking on 2 feet. So I guess that's a trait we carry. And then I had this little analogy, which I sort of compared human greed to. So I compared it to evolution, for example. I said, which organism or mindset is preferred in evolution? Is it the Homo sapien that's walking the plains of Africa and being really greedy with all the water he finds? Or is it the organism that shares all of his water too much that he isn't even able to survive himself? Maybe not even to that extent, but I think the greed is favored back in when maybe water was scarce or whatever kinds of things people need to survive. So that's favored, and that trait, that very same mindset is present today. And it's kind of wrecking the whole unity thing between people, which is maybe a problem that we could solve ever. And once I had a really stupid little rant to myself about what if one day we genetically modified the brain, which is genetically modifying stuff implies that you change DNA, and then DNA in return changes the organism. But I said just modify the brain so there's no greed and just only love. And I thought, but hey, that sounds very similar to some substances I've used before. How come we can't do the summer of love all over again with hippies? Just how they were labeled, calling them hippies. To actually get people singing along together, and maybe you could read something. Instead of throwing them into jail because they wanted to enjoy a substance that made them one with the universe as a loving being. But I do think there might be some good stuff that comes from it. Us being oppressed. Like Jimmy Carter said, possession or penalties against possession of a drug should not be more damaging to an individual than use of the drug itself. Jimmy Carter said that in 1982, I think. I have a book that quotes it. But I might have gotten the year timestamp wrong. I think it's something worth fighting for. I think it's something that's worth reaching. I think it's something worth reaching out for. Something that could be a nice stepping stone. Something to get me out of bed. Something to have me actually chase a dream. So with that said, I think that concludes today's stream, little test stream. So instead of me just saying test auto test 1 1 1 2 3 or stupid stuff like that, I say this was a little rant. So take care.